Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is so very special. We are going to talk about the newest Kryptein Cosmetics palette, and this is the Sunset Symphony palette. This is such a beautiful palette. Look at the packaging. I love when they do this like faux leather packaging, and this shifts from like green, blue. It is very magical, very apt for like summer season because it represent like water. And look at the inside of the palette. It is so special. If you were looking for shifty shadows, this is the palette to go for because this is full of shifty multichromes. They're absolutely wonderful. Let me tell you the details about this palette. This palette has 6 mattes, 6 buildable beautiful mattes, and 6 beautiful multichromes. They again very shifty. I don't think that I have another palette from Kryptein Cosmetics. This is that shifty. It's really you know how much I love Kryptein Cosmetics formula. They are absolutely beautiful. If you love the color story, you'll absolutely love it. Also, let me tell you, this palette retails for $61, and if you use my code Smithy Sony, you can save 10% off. It is currently sold out on their website, but it is there right now up on for pre-order, and pre-order is for like 4 weeks, I think. So not bad. I really love their palettes very much. I'm going to show you swatches on the screen so that you can see all the shifts in the dimension on the screen, and I absolutely loved playing with this palette. Spoiler alert. Now if you want to see all the looks that I created using this Sunset Symphony palette, please keep on watching. Let's begin with our first look with the Sunset Symphony palette. This is such a beautiful palette. I love the swatches. I just did the swatches, so I'll share it on the screen for you guys. I'm sure you've seen it already. Let's start off. I am going to start off with this Seashore shade, which is the deepest shade in the palette. So I am definitely going to use that on my outer corners and see how deep it gets. So I'm going to take that shade. I don't have any eye primer or anything on my eyes, and I'm going to just pack that in the outer corner. Just right there. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing on the other eye. If you know me, you know how much I love Kryptein Cosmetics eyeshadow palettes. Their formula is absolutely top notch. It's just a matter of color story. If you like the color story, you should definitely try them and see if it makes sense for you or not. I love them. Like, absolutely beautiful brand. So once we have that all across the outer corner of the eyelid, I'm going to dip into this shade, which is Breeze, and this is a lighter aqua blue shade. I'm going to take that, melting it with the other deeper blue shade, just right in the crease. Okay, I'm leaving the inner portion blank, and you'll know why in just a second. I feel like the shades that were selected in this palette was so beautiful. I feel like these shades, if you melt and mix with each other, you can create so much beautiful tones, and that's the beauty about this palette, I feel like. So once we have that all across the crease, now we are going to dip into the yellow shade, and that is Parasol. This one, this pastel-y yellow shade. And I'm gonna take that in a different brush. Let's do a smaller blending brush. And I'm gonna take that in the inner portion of the eyelid and melting it with that blue. Now when the yellow meets with the blue, it creates a green hint. And that's exactly what we are looking for right now, okay, for this look. So I'm gonna just take that, and I'm taking the Shodo 02, which is more of like a flimsy brush, and I'm taking it for a reason. If I wanted to pack up the yellow, I would have taken a denser brush, but because I want to melt both yellow and blue together to create a green, I am more taking like a flimsier brush, just so that I get that hint of green in my crease. Okay, so that's what I'm doing on my eyelid. Now for the lower lash line, I am going to take that blue, the deeper blue Seashore shade, in the outer corner of the eyelid, and I'm also going to take that yellow Parasol shade just reapplied, and then melt it and mix it with that blue. I don't know if you can see it or not. On my lower lash line, it totally created that green hint that I was looking for. Now, if you're looking for like creating a green smoky eye, just go with that deeper blue and yellow mixed together. You'll get a beautiful green shadow, like the same way you see on my lower lash line. Okay, now let's move on to the eyelid. I definitely want to take this wave shade, and this is a blue to a green shifting eyeshadow. Very shifty. These like Kryptein cosmetic shadow, if you've not experienced it before, you need to understand how shifty they are. And I'm gonna take that on like diagonally right there. Okay, you can see how beautiful that is. They're not for a faint of heart. They're definitely very, very shifty. I'm sure you saw it in the swatches how beautiful and shifty they are. So once we have that on the outer portion of the eyelid, let's take this shade Afterglow. This one, this has a blue base to it. So I'm hoping that this would melt in very, very nicely right there. This is a shade that has a blue base, but it shifts from a pink, green, gold. So I'm going to take that on the inner part of the eyelid and melt it with that blue-green shimmer that we had. That was also a multichrome. It has like blue, green, purple that is running throughout it. For the inner corner, I am going to take this shade, Skyline, this one. And this is a little bit more of a flakier shadow. So be careful when you apply it. I am going to spray this just so that I don't get like a lot of fallout on my eyelid. And I'm going to take that in the inner corner and I'm going to just melt it with the inner shade on the eyelid. Okay, just like that. Let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara. And there you go, that's my final look. I really, really love the way how this turned out. You know, these tones are so summery, they're so shifty, they're absolutely gorgeous on the eyes. They're very, very dimensional. I feel like the best eyeshadow looks that you would get is like if you go for like 2 or 3 shadow looks, that would be the best that will be created with this palette, because if you mix and match, the beauty of these multichromes would not be shown. So just keep that in mind. Now let's move on to the next eye look. Okay, let's begin with our second look. I know that I want to do something with the pinks for sure today, because we did dive into this section yesterday. So let's begin with that. I'm going to start off with that Symphony shade. That is that hot pink shade. I am not going to dip into blues today. Ooh, that's loud. Very pigmented. I was going to say, yeah, I want to keep it like airy and light today. Especially I'm going to office. I don't want too much blue, but this might need a little help with the depth, so we'll see. So I'm going to take the pink across the outer portion of the eye, and I'm going to dip into, let's do Carnival, this orange on the inner portion. That's a vibrant orange. I can see like a beach vacation or a cruise vacation wearing these shades. I'm also taking those same shades on the lower lash line. Now, yes, I wanted it airy for sure, but I also want a little bit of depth, okay? So I am going to dip into that seashore shade, the deeper blue that we have here. Ideally, I would have gone for a burgundy, but we're just going to dip a little bit into this blue mixed with that pink. It's creating a little bit of lavender, if you can see, because pink and blue, purple. But I would have definitely loved if this blue was deeper or if we had another deeper shade. Those are the thoughts that are coming in my brain right now. Okay, so that's where we are right now with everything. Let's move on to the shimmers and see where we can take this, okay? Let's take Golden Hour shade, this one. And this, we're going to take it towards the majority of the eyelid, I would say.
Very dimensional, very shifty, as you can see. Once we have that shade all across, for the inner corner, I am gonna dip into, let's take Mojito, this one. It's a light blue to a pink shifting shade, I would say. I'm just tapping it lightly over the inner part of the eyelid. Okay, just for something a little special, but I don't want that, again, that blue to overpower. I'm going to take that same shade on my inner corner too, that Mojito shade. You can see without any orangey base how it looks versus the orangey base how it's looking. Okay, very pretty. I am going to dip into something here in the outer corner because I feel I need something. I'm going to dip into this shade, this burgundy shade. This is the Beauty Willow palette, but I mean, you can dip into any shade. I just want a hint of something a little deep there, okay? Just because the shimmer has a deeper base, it feels like it's floating in the air without any depth, okay? Nothing much, just a few taps here. That's all. Let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara and I'll come right back. And there you go, that's my final eye look. I love the way how this turned out. It's definitely more summery. It's more vibrant. I definitely love the way how this came out. The only thing that I'm missing is a deeper shade for sure, that you saw me talk about it in the video. I love the combination of the colors that were included in this palette. I definitely cannot wait to see what all I can create with this palette. Yesterday's look did give me a little bit of creasing in my lid space. Just because I did go with this Afterglow shade, this one. I think the Afterglow shade is the one that gave me creasing because this is quite squishy in the pan, so do keep that in mind. Now let's move on to the outro. Now let me show you comparisons with the rest of the palettes. I have all the Kryptein Cosmetics palette that they have done before, so I'm gonna just show you. If I see something really close, that is when I'll go and swatch, because we have a lot of palettes to talk about. This is something that is absolutely not close one bit, and this one is the Alta palette, the smallest palette from Kryptein Cosmetics. So those are those two palettes. Even the pink shimmers, they're very different to them. Okay, so let's take that away. Then we have the Tulip Dream palette, which has this baby pink packaging. That's my favorite packaging that they have done. Nothing similar, absolutely nothing similar. I thought this shade would be similar, but no. This one is definitely much more spicy and shifty. So no similarity there. Let's talk about Violet Crazy. Violet Crazy has a lot of violet shades and green shades. Here you go. None of similar shadows here too. Very different vibes, I would say, amongst these two palettes. Okay, let's now talk about their first palette, which was the Burnt Forest palette. And here again, no similarity whatsoever. There you go. Let's talk about these two palettes, and this one is the Atlantis palette, the blue palette from them. Now here, let me see if we can swatch anything. None of the mattes are similar. For the blue shimmer shadow, I'm going to swatch the Dilute shade with the Wave shade. Okay, Wave definitely has a little bit more green, if you can see. So this is Wave. It's more blue, green, purple. And this one is the shade Deluge from the Atlantis palette. Okay. The top one is the Sunset Symphony. The bottom one is Atlantis. Similar, I would say similar for sure. Just a little bit of a tonal difference. The green is a little different. The Atlantis palette doesn't have that much green. It has like a lighter blue shift to it. Okay. Then let's do Mermaid from the Atlantis palette against the Golden Hour shade. So Golden Hour on top. And what's this, Mermaid on the bottom from Atlantis. Again, a little bit of tonal difference, not too much, I would say.
So those are the closer ones from the Atlantis palette, okay? And then let's talk about the Secret Garden 1 palette against the Sunset Symphony. Both of them have like some beautiful yellows in common, I would say. But let's see, swatched against each other, if it is too similar to each other or not. They also have some pinks, but the pinks are very, very different. Even the yellows, I know they're very different, but the only mustardy shade I'm going to swatch, which is Osmanthus from the Secret Garden 1 palette against Surfboard from the Sunset Symphony. This is from Sunset Symphony and this is from the Secret Garden 1. I'm going to just build it a little bit just so that you see the tonal difference. So the top one is Sunset Symphony, the bottom one is the Secret Garden 1. Definitely the Secret Garden 1 is more like a mustardy yellow shade rather than the orangey shade. So do keep that in mind. Against the shimmers, let's do Daisy against Halo. Halo from the Sunset Symphony is definitely more green. Daisy is definitely more yellow. Okay. And Daisy has a little bit more pink to it. Whereas Halo has a lot of green to it. Okay. Hopefully you can see that shift. So that was Secret Garden 1 palette. Now let's do Secret Garden 2 palette. Now Secret Garden 2 has a lot of pinks along with Periwinkle against the Sunset Symphony palette. So let's see what is common here. I'm going to do Afterglow from Sunset Symphony against Petunia from the Secret Garden 2. This is Afterglow and this is Petunia from Secret Garden 2. Petunia definitely has a lot more purple to it. At least at my angle, I can definitely see the difference. I'm going to do Golden Hour again from the Sunset Symphony against Datura. The texture is definitely different. Golden Hour is definitely more wet, squishier in the pan from the Sunset Symphony palette. And then Datura is definitely way more smoother. Yeah, these are different for sure. They're very, like Datura definitely has like holochrominess to it. Yeah, I would say those are a little different from each other. Okay, so those are the comparison shades for the Sunset Symphony palette. Okay, now let's talk about Sunset Symphony. What am I missing in this palette? I feel like when I'm looking this color story, I really love the color story and I do understand like summery tones and I feel like they have captured it very beautifully. Although I have one complaint, I feel like there's depth missing and I don't want too much of depth, but I also feel like there is depth needed because there is like some shadows that have like a deeper base to it, and for that I do need a deeper tone matte to complement it. This is definitely a little bit more on the toppery side, this wave shade, so I'm okay with it. You saw it, like it can definitely melt with the blue. Now if I want to deepen out any look using this palette alone, I have to dip into that blue to give that depth. I would have loved if there was like a eggplanty or a burgundy shade that would have complemented both the sides. And even though I feel like there's a yellow, there's a lighter orange and there's a deeper orange, I could have gotten rid of this shadow because if I mix these two, I would get that shade. So the best part is that because these palettes are magnetic, we can definitely take this out. And I would have definitely implemented one of a deeper matte shade into this palette. I'm taking the shade Dahlia from the Secret Garden 2 palette. And now see, I have the depth that I'm looking for from this palette. That's the only change that I would do. Now with that shade in picture, I can melt it with the pink and make it more deeper. I can also melt it with that blue and make it more of a deeper blue. So I feel like that's the only thing that is missing in this palette. I love the shimmers that were included in this palette. This shade Golden Hour definitely has like that deeper base to it. It has like some kind of a deeper gray, like a black base to that shadow. So I definitely am missing something more deeper. That's the only complaint that I have about this palette. But otherwise, I am gonna, like, quality wise, I'm gonna give it like a 2 thumbs up. There's absolutely no problem with the quality. Now, I would also say if you have a creasy eyelid, I will let you know in the comment section below if it creased on me or not, or maybe in tomorrow's look, because by the time I will know if this creased on me, because there are quite a bit of chunkier shimmer in this palette. Like this shade, Golden Hour shade, Afterglow shade, these are like a wet shimmer. Halo definitely has a little bit more texture. None of the, like this Mojito shade is definitely the most smooth shade out of the lot. Wave is also smooth. Rest, everything has a little bit more chunkiness to it, and I love when Kryptein Cosmetics does like a smoother shadow, so do keep that in mind. Okay, now once you saw all the looks using this palette, you guys have to let me know which look was your favorite. Sound it down in the comment section below. But that's all for today. If you did like my video, you know what to do. Do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every single week, every Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.